It is International
Shout out to
Women's Day
Savanah Hernandez,
2023,
man.
so we are here at UT Austin
Fire
to ask the
journalist,
ladies what it means to be a woman
conservative
in the modern
journalist,
day, and also if they
conservative
would feel comfortable.
journalist.
Well, it is International Women's Day 2023, so we are here at UT Austin to ask the ladies what
Shout
it
out
means
to
to be a
Austin.
woman in the modern day, and also if they would feel comfortable sharing their spaces with trans women.
Hold on.
Well, it is International Women's Day 2023, so we are here at UT Austin to ask the ladies what it means to be a woman in the modern day, and also if they would feel comfortable sharing their spaces with trans women. Let's go find out. What is it like being a woman in modern day America for you?
There definitely is some like setbacks and challenges, especially like I'm queer, and so I have some like just problems with that, like in like a religious standpoint.
There's still a lot of struggles that women have to like go through just for the, I guess, the way that they were born, I guess. Especially if you take into account like trans femme people and like stuff like that. So
I'm actually just working on a project right now. I'm an RTF major, and we actually just made a short film about women's experiences, like just existing in the world. It's called "You Should Smile More," and we actually did a whole bit about like how it is to just like exist around like kind of just the kind of entitlement of men and how they make people feel uncomfortable and just like in everyday situations and how that affects women in like their day-to-day lives.
What are some of those things that men do that make women feel uncomfortable?
Well, for example, in the film, like the title of the film is "You Should Smile More." It's these like kind of offhanded, sort of like backhanded compliments almost, where it's like it's inherently threatening and telling them like, you know, like you're only valuable because you're pretty, and like they kind of the tones they use in sort of situations.
I actually identify as non-binary, but I like still identify as mostly feminine person.
You're gender fluid. Talk to us about, I guess, the modern day version of what being a woman is.
Turning Point, United States of America. That's what that stands
I don't know.
for.
I mean, I only realized some more gender stuff about myself recently, like in the past few months or so. Before then, I identified as a man most of my life, so I'm still trying to figure things out.
So what are your pronouns? Talk to us a little bit about your gender identity.
Pronouns, I guess right now I'm kind of vague about because I'm not out to like literally like everyone in existence, just kind of certain social spheres. But I guess like any at this point.
Any gender? So
Yeah.
like they, them, she, her, it, he, him.
Yeah.
Go with anything?
Yeah, I go with anything.
So gender and sexuality is something that has been brought to the forefront a lot for Women's History Month, International Women's Day. Some women saying that trans women should be platformed because they're really biological men, especially for Women's History Month. What is your viewpoint on that in the modern day?
I think trans women are women because biological gender is different. Biological sex is different from gender. So, however you choose to present yourself, you are a woman. If you don't even have to have like any sort of gender affirmation surgery.
I think if anyone wants to be a woman, they can.
I agree with that. People can identify. You can identify as a woman. Men can identify as women. If a man wants to identify as a woman, he can. That's his prerogative, his volition. But he should not be delusional. He should not be deluded and irrational. He should not illogically state that he is a biological woman when he's not a biological woman. He was not born with the X chromosome. So how are you a woman when you were not born with the XX chromosome, bro? That doesn't make sense, yo. That doesn't make any sense, yo. And the people that say that get branded bigots. If you say the irrefutable truth, then you get called then you get branded a bigot. You get told that you're intolerant, that you're transphobic, and all of this, and you get branded all of these slanderous words, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. People castigate you. They lambast you, bro. They excoriate you if you bravely and courageously say what's real, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
You don't even have to have like any sort of gender affirmation surgery.
I think if anyone wants to be a woman, they can. I think just because a trans woman is a
it's
They're not
interesting,
biological women, bro.
with like biological men going into like becoming a biological woman, and people have an issue with that. Because at the end of the day, they're a woman. You know, like you become a woman, so now you are in that camp. So I could see why someone might have like issues, like, oh, that's not a real woman. But I think that's kind of
That's
them
not a real woman.
being able to accept the fact that that person has made that choice to become a woman.
Do you
They
guys
can
see
make
trans women and biological women the same?
They can make the choices. Adults, female and male adults that want to transition and get orchiectomies and surgeries, surgical operations can get surgical operations, bro. If they want to transition, and if a man wants to transition into a woman, if a man wants to transition into a woman, if a woman, yeah, bro. If a man wants to do that, that's his prerogative. That's his discretion.
They're a woman. You know, like you become.
But don't say you're a
so
woman,
now
bro.
you're in that camp. So
Don't say you're
I can
a
see
biological
why someone might
woman.
have like issues, like, oh, that's not a real woman. But I think that's kind of them not being able to accept the fact that that person has made that choice to become a woman.
Do you guys see trans women and biological women the same?
No, I don't. No hate against trans women, bro.
Yes and no. Yeah, it's like a yes and no question, but it's like that's a great question for conversation. Well, I mean, I think like the fact that like it's not just it's trans women and biological women kind of already inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like if it's like do you view a woman as the same? Even in that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. You know, like Rihanna and Beyonce different. Same way, like Caitlyn Jenner.
Rihanna's
like,
still a biological woman. Beyonce's still a biological woman.
But it's like that's a great question.
They were born with XX chromosomes.
I think like
Chromosome
the fact that, like,
with the XX
it's not
chromosome.
Just, it's trans women and biological.
They
women
never transitioned
kind of
into men.
Inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like,
Or they,
it's like,
they're not biological men. I meant to say they're not biological men that transitioned into women. That's what I meant to say.
That like it's not just it's trans women and
Rihanna and Beyonce,
kind
Riri
of
and Queen B, they were born
saying they're different. You know what I'm saying?
females.
So like if it's like do you view a woman as the same? Even in that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. You know, like Rihanna and Beyonce different. Same way, like Caitlyn Jenner, like
Do you think Beyonce and Caitlyn Jenner are similar? Like,
No.
would you put them on? Yeah, like.
No.
in the place
No.
of arts, it's like
Caitlyn,
there's really,
Caitlyn is a trans, bro. Beyonce's not a trans. They're not different, bro. Caitlyn was Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Caitlyn is not a biological woman. Beyonce is a biological woman. There's a difference.
Rihanna and Beyonce different.
There's a difference.
Same way, like Caitlyn Jenner.
It's
Beyonce
weird that they
and
equate the
Caitlyn
two.
Jenner
That
are
certain
similar.
people
Like,
equate
would
the
you put
two.
them on? Yeah, like.
In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment. Inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like if it's like do you view a woman as the same? Even in that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. You know, like Rihanna and Beyonce different. Same way, like Caitlyn Jenner, like
Do you think Beyonce and Caitlyn Jenner are similar? Like, would you put them on? Yeah, like.
In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment because like we do like.
It's not about
work,
judgment.
Crawl on the ground like dogs.
It's about
or
the
like
truth, man.
squirrels, and then that,
The
like,
truth is not hate. The truth is not bigotry. You know what I'm saying? People like to equate. People equate truth to bigotry, bro. But then, truth is not bigotry. Truth is not hate, bro. Truth is not odium, excoriation, vituperation. Truth is not that, bro. Truth is not slander. It's not defamation, bro.
In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment because like we do like
The irrefutable
work,
truth
like,
is
we'll
that
crawl on the
there's two
ground,
genders.
like dogs or like squirrels, and then that like being a squirrel you can like transition to like being like this. In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment because like we do like animal work, like we'll crawl on the ground like dogs or like squirrels, and then that like being a squirrel you can like transition to like being like this like sort of crackhead where you have like this like tick, and it's like I know I'm getting there, but it's like you're laughing at that, but it's like we have no room to judge because then like some of the best actors out there do it, like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
went through things.
You know,
Would you say that a man
That's what he's saying.
transitioning to being a woman is the same as an actor pretending to be a squirrel?
see, that is a crazy ass question.
You said you were getting
Well, what I'm getting at is like not the embarrassment, the judgment on other people of like, this is just, that's what I do. Now you might not necessarily do squirrel work, but I'll do it because that furthers like my life and my career and everything. And if transitioning furthers somebody else's life in the way that they
Yeah,
want to,
I don't condone
that's just what they
judgment.
gotta do,
I don't condone hate
Do you view
towards other
biological
groups
women
of
and
people.
trans women the
I
same way?
don't condone hate towards the trans community, towards any community, bro. Yeah, I mean, people saying the dehumanizing and disparaging and nasty things about other groups of people. Yeah, saying disparaging, dehumanizing, denigrating things about other groups of people is not cool, bro. It's not good. It's not.
like the embarrassment.
It's not respectable. It's not
the
laudable.
judgment on other people of like, this is just, that's what I do. Now you might not necessarily do squirrel work, but I'll do it because that furthers like my life and my career and everything.
I don't
And if,
condone condescension.
transitioning furthers somebody else's life in the way
Thinking
that they
you're
want to, then
thinking
that's
that your
just
group
what they
is
gotta do,
superior to other
Do you
groups.
view biological women and trans women?
my life and my career and everything. And if transitioning furthers somebody else's life in the way that they want to, then like that's just what they got to do.
Do you view biological women and trans women the same way?
Oh no. I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think they should be labeled the same, but I think people should acknowledge that trans women and cis women have different experiences.
I mean, I think if that's what they identify as, then today is the day for them.
Do you think that we should be focused in more on transgender women's voices now in the modern day society and, trying to uplift them more than, let's say, other groups of women in this space? What are your thoughts?
Yes, in a way, because they do go through more.
They're supposed to get validated
Yeah.
in your identity and stuff.
Trans women are, oppressed and stuff. I think they deserve. I don't know.
Because
Because
they voices don't have the right to identify what they see themselves as.
I think trans women of color should be uplifted the most just because they have the most oppression facing them.
And talk to me too a little bit about that. What are some of those oppressive things that they're facing?
It could just be like small, everyday microaggressions, or even as far as someone going and assaulting them on the street.
And it's all intersectionality, so they deal with just more than one thing. They're a trans woman, they might be a person of color, they might be part of the LGBTQ plus community. A lot of things overlap, and it's hard to. A lot of things affect them. It's not just one thing.
I guess assigned female at birth person, you just generally have a lot more hardships just from like the way you were born. But I do think like trans femme people, it's kind of dangerous to be a trans femme person.
Did she say you could?
Really have a lot
Did she
more
say?
hardships just from like the way you were born. But I do think like
She's saying people can be born trans. Nah, bro. Nah.
A lot of things affect them. It's
I
not just
disagree
one
with
thing.
that, bro.
I
I'm
guess
not gonna
assigned
hold you.
female at birth person,
I'm not gonna
you
hold
just
you.
generally have a lot more hardships just from like the way you were born. But I do think like trans femme people, it's kind of dangerous to be a trans femme person. It's always has been. There's a lot of violence that trans femme people, trans women like specifically face.
I hate the way that the United States and law and policy are so focused on changing or just bothering the trans community. And I feel like that should be, it should obviously be a part of law in terms of giving them the freedom that they want. But other than that, I feel like that should not be a subject to talk about unless you are part of the community or has something to do with you, because you don't truly know how it feels to be trans. Unless you're supporting, then I feel like it should not be talked about. So I think one of the reasons why it is because, like, for women's sports, for example, right, we do have some people like Leah Thomas, who is a biological male, that went and swam with the women, obviously took first place. Leah
Unfair.
Thomas, broader shoulders, was just bigger in general. So in
Unfair.
terms of women's, sports, or even sometimes
Trans women
golf
should
careers,
not be
like young
allowed
girls
to
are being
compete in
exposed to trans
biological
women
women's
still have male
sports.
genitalia. Those are
Facts.
kind of little kids that are seeing that. And what are your thoughts on that?
Or that's what I candidly think.
That's a good question.
question.
That's what I think,
When it comes
honestly.
to the locker room, I feel like if these people are, if the trans community, if they feel like they are the opposite sex, like a female or a male, then
That's
they should be able to go into the locker room or whatnot because they truly feel like they are female. So
They shouldn't be in the same
everyone, but they're
locker
not trying
rooms
to mess
as
with the opposite sex
biological.
if they feel like they are that sex. Like if they're a
Just because you
female going into a
feel
female
that
locker
you're
room,
a woman, that doesn't mean that you're a woman, though. You feel me?
and they should be able to go into the locker room or
You
whatnot.
cannot be
because they
delusional,
truly
like I
feel like they
said
are female. So
before.
9 times out of 10, I can't speak for everyone, but they're not trying to mess with the opposite sex if they feel like they are that sex. Like if they're a female going into a female locker room, and then they're not going to want to mess with the females because they now are a female. But
Other than if they still have a penis, though, like, do you think that, again, exposing a child to male genitalia just because that person
It's
feels
weird.
female is a good
It's not
thing
cool,
for
bro.
society?
It's not good.
well, I feel like you're not going to expose your genitalia in a locker room. I know for me, you just get changed and stuff. So in terms of like exposing yourself in a locker room, I feel like that is not an issue. But if people are afraid that the trans person is going to mess with the female in the locker room, I feel like that is not an issue. But if people are afraid that the trans person is going to mess with the female in the locker room, that's why I'm saying I feel like it's not an issue either because if they identify as female, then they're not going to try to mess with these females.
She's bugging, bro. She's bugging. She's hate I'm not gonna hold you. No hate against her, but she's bugging. She's bugging for sure. She doesn't think it's an issue, yo. Like that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Really, anyone can be dangerous.
But do you think little kids should be seeing this type of thing?
I mean, well, kids should be seeing genitalia in general. I think. I mean, if a woman like.
I agree with that part. You feel me?
Well, kids should be.
I'm not gonna hold you. I agree with that. I concur with that part. Kids should not see genitalia. Period.
Anyone can be dangerous.
But do you think little kids should be seeing this type of thing?
I mean, well, kids should be seeing genitalia in general.
I agree.
I think. I mean, if a woman like goes into a bathroom and is like showing off their like genitals or whatever, that's just like a sexual predator. Like they just need to be in jail.
For example, in my gym, women will walk around and they'll get naked changing because, you know, we're all biologically the same there. So that's kind of the situation that some people are in. There are children there. But I guess, like I said, in the instance of it being a trans female, like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, children seeing that?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's that is an interesting thing to think about. I just think like I don't know. It is like kind of a weird situation. I do think for the safety of like a lot of trans people, there should be a lot more gender like neutral spaces.
Right. So more options would probably be the answer.
Yeah, I think so because it really is like, especially if you're thinking like a trans woman, if they go into like the men's locker room, they're like a target for like harassment and violence. But if they go into a women's like locker room, a lot of women are uncomfortable. That's just like the reality of it.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Trans women are women just like I'm a woman. I'm a cisgender woman, but just as much as I'm a woman, so are trans women, so they deserve every right that I have.
I like don't even care. I don't notice anything. Like I don't see it as a problem, and I think that if they're comfortable, they can like women's bathroom, they go to women's bathroom.
Because they are women.
Yeah.
What would you say to the parents who think, like, oh, I don't want my daughter around a trans woman in a bathroom? Like, what are your thoughts on that type of mentality?
That's not hateful, bro.
I feel like they're not as educated as well. When parents usually say that, it's really coming from like an ignorant place because they're not understanding that they are women. I know they might have been born a male or whatever, but they are women. If they identify as a woman, they are a woman. And
They don't equate to
I
each
feel
other,
like
bro.
they don't want like something bad to happen in the bathroom because their
Irrationality, bro.
genitalia might not-
Illogicality.
sex and gender are two different things. So their sex and gender might not match, but I think it's just ignorance. Yeah.
I agree with what she's saying. Yeah, I would absolutely be okay sharing a space with trans women, and the fact that parents think that is kind of awful.
I'm totally for uplifting trans women. I think
who identify as female with male genitalia.
I definitely think trans women should be included in women's spaces. I mean, they're women, obviously, so
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there, bro. Yeah, a lot of these students are bugging, bro. They're bugging. Yeah, it's a lot of women said that they felt uncomfortable in the locker rooms, bro. When the trans women were in there, bro. Like they're not. This is real stuff, bro. This, bro, it's weird, bro. It's not cool, bro. It's not laudable what these trans women are doing in these locker rooms, bro. They're bugging, bro. They're bugging. They're bugging, bro. They're bugging. They're bugging, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Shout out to Savanah Hernandez, man. She be going. Yeah, I salute. I laud to what she's doing on her channel, man. She's yeah, bro. She big ups, man. Yeah, bro.